Arizona, and we welcome you to Streaming Church TV, our video blog broadcast. It's live. In fact, today we are over at Rock and Java here in Tucson, which is part of Continental Ranch, a live church Continental Ranch. And I want to just say, first of all, my name is Phil Thompson. I'm also joined by Michael Gray, which I'm going to introduce officially here in a second. Steve Lacey, our president and founder of Streaming Church TV, is actually behind the camera, and he's producing the show today. But we want to just welcome you. Thanks for coming today. And by the way, this is only going to be about 15 minutes, so we're going to move quickly, but we'd love to get your questions in chat. So just go ahead and type them in there if you have any questions. We will do our very best to try and get to them, and we will probably do this with this topic, multi-site broadcasting in different churches. We're going to do this topic probably for the next couple of weeks or so. So if we don't get your questions today, we will get them next week. All right. So without further ado, I want to introduce Mike Gray. Mike Gray is the web pastor at Alive Church. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm great. Thanks. Good to be here.
It is good to have you here. Now, let me just start off by asking you, I know for a fact you wear a lot of hats at Alive Church, but tell us primarily exactly what you do.
Primarily web pastor, as you said, and marketing and everything else to do with the web.
Now, as I said, we're broadcasting live here at Rock and Java, the Continental Ranch campus of Alive Church. Tell us a little bit about this facility that we're in right now.
This facility is our second MultiSite campus, but it is also our full-time coffee shop. 7 days a week. There is a coffee shop here that we're doing the broadcast in, and that is our bridge to the community. It's a community coffee house with live music every Friday and Saturday night.
Now, Alive Church, which has been going for quite some time, tell me a little bit about the decision that Alive Church made to really pursue a multi-site church, multi-site campus.
Well, even before my time, way back, they attempted it and did multi-site, pastor driving from place to place before the technology came around. We had other attempts that we did remote, and this is the third one of most recent years that we've done a multi-site location. This one has the full coffee shop and has been quite a bit more successful.
Why did Alive decide to do a multi-site thing? Why not just build one big church?
Well, our idea of church is church in your community. So instead of big buildings, you come to us. We want to do church in your community so you can take your friends and family and neighbors.
We're going to talk a little more about that here in a moment, but tell us, how does this whole thing work on it? We're talking multi-site campuses here, and if you have any questions, feel free to type them into your chat here. We'll try to get to them. There's also some links here on the platform that tell you a little more about Alive Church and some other things we're going to talk about, but how does this actually work? All right, so you're doing a multi-campus deal, multi-site deal. Tell us a little bit quickly about the nuts and the bolts of how the whole thing works on Saturday night or Sunday morning.
We use a campus pastor. We have a campus pastor at each location, and he is the primary care pastor for that flock or the people at that location. Each campus and venue has a live band, their own live band that plays at that location, and then we go to the teaching pastor for the teaching at and Jeff, our teaching pastor, teaches at all locations via broadcast. So we broadcast T1 to T1, send and receive.
T1 to T1, just for some of the novices out there, what's a T1?
T1 is it's not super fast, but it's guaranteed bandwidth. So you get 1.5 meg of guaranteed up and download. That way it's as secure as you can have broadcasting up and down.
Let's talk a little bit about live, what you guys do and the live effect of it all, because there are churches out there doing multi-campuses all over the country now, but not a whole lot of them are doing like the live stream to these different campuses. Many of them will do a video, record the video, archive it, and then it gets off to the different campus and they watch it, something that was recorded maybe a day or two or even a week or two before, but a live church is actually doing live most of the time. What's the deal with that?
Well, as the technical director, I would much rather do it recorded. I'll just say that now, because if something can go bad, it will in the live. But we have a very engaging senior pastor. He wants to interact with everyone at every location live. So on the internet as well as on the web, internet as well as on the web, as well as other campuses, he wants that interaction where he's asking questions, and they also have the ability to text Facebook or Twitter questions to him live during the service to gain a little bit more interactivity. So no matter where you're at, you can join into the service.
So you're not just watching the thing on your computer. You can actually interact not only with the online web pastor, which you do as well, but you can actually interact a little bit with the teaching pastor.
Yeah, everyone has that ability to ask questions, make comments. We have a virtual pastor question every week. Jeff asks a question, and he gets responses from everyone globally from the website as well as other campuses. So it makes it much more interactive. And as well, now we have people sitting in the live experience joining in the chat on the web experience as well.
That's really cool. That makes a big difference. Now, you mentioned how for you being technical, it would be just easier to just take a archived video and piece it together a week or two or whatever. But we're doing live with a live church. So what's the benefits? Well, first of all, let's talk about the risk. I mean, anything can go wrong and will, but what are some of the risks of actually going live to different campuses?
The risk is inclement weather. If you have bad weather, lots of lightning, you lose power, you lose the ability to broadcast. There are many dangers in doing it live. We have, for the most part, good weather most of the year, so it's not a huge problem. The key for us is that we have a video backup. So redundancy, 2-3 layers of redundancy, so if one fails, you've got another backup.
Well, that was my question. I mean, what happens if something goes wrong? So you've got video backup. So is the video of something that was done a few weeks ago, or what happens if they lose the live feed to the campus? What do they see?
Well, they have backups from previous recorded services. If it fails we do Saturday and Sunday services, so we archive Saturday. If it fails Saturday, they go to a backup from a month ago. But if it fails Sunday, they have a backup DVD from Saturday night, and they're ready to go.
And we should, again, reiterate, we actually have a campus pastor at these different locations. And so if all else fails, that campus pastor he studies during the week as well. He's familiar with the topic, and so he can actually pinch hit. Am I correct in that?
That's correct. He's got a set of notes, and he has the ability to pick it up and walk in and do the service if need be.
And I should mention there's a book called MultiSite Church Revolution. In fact, you can see it on the platform here if you're looking here at the chat. There's some different links on here you can click on, and the MultiSite Church Revolution is one of those things you could look at. And let me just talk real briefly about pastors, campus pastors. I mean, they are legitimate leaders, and they are seasoned people. So you don't just have anybody in there. So if there's something does go wrong, you've actually got a seasoned guy who can take the ball and run, correct?
Yes, in most cases, our campus pastors have taught, and they do fill in and teach on a regular basis and are able to, but their primary role is to be a shepherd to their community and to their campus, but fully able to step in and teach if need be.
Let's just talk a little bit about, because everybody's, people who are interested in the streaming thing at different churches, different campuses. I'm sure we could talk all night about close calls and goofball things that went wrong, but can you give me a little example of maybe something that was a close shave for you guys?
Well, better than close shave. We've definitely crashed. We've crashed and burned multiple times. But the redundancy of the ability to stream on a DSL when the T1 fails, because somebody is doing construction and cut your line or whatever may be the case. But we have definitely crashed and burned, thus the redundancy of a burned DVD ready to play.
If you have any questions, feel free to type in your questions. And again, we're going to continue this discussion next week with Mike Gray, who is web pastor of Alive Church. We've got a couple more minutes left here. Okay, we're over here at Rock and Java, Continental Ranch, one of the campuses of Alive Church. Tell me a little bit about, what do they need here in order to get a stream in order to do this?
You could potentially send a stream on a cable or DSL line, but you don't have guaranteed signal. So we choose to pay a little more of a premium price for a T1 download as well as T1 on the upload side.
And you guys have done in different campuses that you've experimented with, you have done other things with DSL lines and didn't work too good, I guess, huh?
Sometimes, and it depends on your provider and the community you live in. These are things you've got to explore before you check it out, but we've literally, one campus we did, and we streamed from a cell phone air card. And it was great until they sold enough in the market that the bandwidth began to die. Yeah.
Here's a question for you as far as doing this whole thing live as opposed to having a videotape archive. Timing. I mean, you've got so many things that I don't think we always think about, but timing, because you've got a band playing, like here, for instance, at this campus site, this multi-site location, there's a live band playing. Okay, somehow or another, those guys have got to figure out when to stop playing and be able to catch the live feed from the teaching pastor. How does that all work?
It's not as difficult, but it is definitely, there's a drop-dead time. When we're going live to the teaching pastor, we have a light system here, but we also transition with video. So we have a video intro playing that transitions, and that way if you join a little early or a little late, there's a cushion before we go to the real live.
We've got a couple minutes left, and we'll continue this discussion probably next week. But do we have a question here? Let me. Okay, so the I'm looking at the question here. I can't find it. T1 is really slow. Sorry, Shane. T1 is really slow. How does the picture look at that?
It's not a problem at all. We stream Windows Media with it. A little bit cleaner, crisper image, and we stream that one at about 650 kilobytes per second. It's blown up on a large 100-inch screen, and it looks very clean, and detail is very good.
You hear some stuff in the background. They're actually making an espresso or something back here at the coffee shop. Again, questions, if you have them, even if we don't get to them tonight, we'll get to them next week, so you can type those things in. We got about a minute left here. As a web pastor, all the other hats you wear, but as you're online Saturday night or Sunday night as a web pastor, what are some of the things you do to kind of add to, connecting with the people that are online?
The key is conversation. We're having, just like a live location, you walk in the door, we try to provide everything that we can provide so that it feels like you walked in the door of one of our campuses. Chat, interaction, the teaching notes, everything is right there at a mouse click away so that you can feel like that you're there with us.
And people can even do private chat, correct? And if they have any prayer requests, things of that nature?
Yes. So private chat, we can go into a private chat room and talk about anything that would be private from the rest of the crowd, and prayer time as well as counseling time.
That's awesome. We're speaking with Mike Gray from Alive Church here, the web pastor. We're just about out of time here. I want to remind you that you can follow us on Twitter. It's Streaming Church TV. There's a long story behind that, but it's streaming and CHUR TV. I think that's what it is on Twitter. Or you can find us on Facebook, Streaming Church on Facebook, and check us out there as well. And Mike also has a Twitter website or Twitter account. It's Mike from Alive. Is that right? That's correct. Mike from Alive on Twitter. And okay, we're about out of time here. I want to appreciate everybody taking some time to join us here this week. We're probably going to be here next week at Rock and Java. May as well. They've got great coffee here over here off Continental Ranch. And you know what? We'll be online here for a few minutes as far as the chat room goes. So if you have any questions on chat, feel free to type those in. But thanks again. I'm Phil